One of the most important things you can do for yourself and others around you is read books, listen to books, utilize this time in your car, in your shower, whatever you're doing, time that's just wasted where you're normally not doing anything. Listen to an Audible book, 30 minutes in the shower, an hour a day driving, an hour at the gym, whatever it is. Imagine how much your subconscious can soak in an information if you're having Audible books constantly ran for you. So that's a huge thing. Growing, if you listen to any single CEO, any single wealthy person in the world, they talk about how many books they read. It's typically always like one a week, something really insane like that. And read books more than once. I had someone tell me they only read a book once, they don't really get everything. It's like, obviously, you should read books 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times because you're gonna get different material, different things out of each one. We have a list of different books that we recommend, and on top of that, we have a lot more. So if you need books after you finish all these ones and you've read them all 8 times a piece, get some more recommendations. But one we have is The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. Great, phenomenal book. It talks about a lot of different things. It's a little bit longer version, but it just talks about the psychology behind selling and your mindset. If you read that book, you will understand a lot more. The next one is Never Split the Difference. Never Split the Difference is an awesome, phenomenal book from Chris Voss, ex-hostage negotiating guy, talks about the mindset and the background behind like how they're thinking as well. Probably my top favorite book I've ever read, hands down with that one. That one's gonna get you in the mindset of just being a master. That one's more technical, so maybe that's a book you should read later on down the road. The Way of the Wolf is by Jordan Belfort. Pretty good book, just talks about main thing I got from that was not going to Uranus and just staying on a straight line system and keeping the sales process clean. Another one is ABCs of Closing. This is a super short book, like 2 hours, made for door knockers, so it's actually pretty good. So that one's a great book by Sam Taggart. Another one is The Closer's Survival Guide by Grant Cardone. Just talks about how to close deals, different closing strategies. Most of them are just about being bold, which is super important. Definitely recommend the book. It's really good. One that I really like that I think is really important for someone new to listen to read is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, ex-Navy SEAL, ex-Ranger, ultra-marathon runner, ex-world record holder for pull-ups, whole bunch of crazy stuff he's done in his life, where it just talks about the mentality that you have to do these insane things. He used to be like 300 pounds or something like that, 6'2" guy, pest control. Made it to be a Navy SEAL after he dropped out. I don't want to ruin the book, but that one's a must read. If you're new, I think it's super important. A lot of the stuff you'll experience when you're first out knocking is that mental callousing that you need knocking on doors. The other one we have is Sell Like Sir Hunt. This one is more about getting referrals and utilizing your current customers you have, and the current people you have, and talking to people and using social media. So I really like that one for that side. It's really good for that. Another one is Be a Sales Superstar. This is kind of a shortened version of The Psychology of Selling. It's by Brian Tracy as well. This one will go everything that psychology is selling. It says all of it condensed. So it might be a good idea to read the long version, then the short version, and then really just work those two together because they're really solid quality books. There's another one that I would recommend for a new person. So the two, just so you guys know, I'd recommend Can't Hurt Me, and then Be Obsessed or Be Average for the 2 books I'd recommend being brand new to definitely knock out as fast as possible. So Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone basically says exactly what the title is and just talks about that. Be obsessed or you're average. If you're not going full pedal to the metal, you're putting massive amounts of action, massive amounts of energy into doing what you need to do and what you know you need to do, and not taking days off and working as hard as you can, putting in a 12-hour day, and understanding that that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes you gotta work through a Sunday. Sometimes you gotta work in the dark. Sometimes whatever it is, but be obsessed and or you're average. And like no one really wants to be average. If you say, okay, I'm cool with being average, sales is probably not the profession for you. Another book is Unshakeable by Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, super great book, really informational there, and has a ton of good information on that. There's a couple other books we have. Just ask us if we need any more books on that side. I don't want to make the video too long. That's a general overview of that. But if you need any book recommendations, definitely reach out. I personally have a couple hundred, so just ask.